The subject is a boat and RV storage facility, but in 2018-2019 with minimal finish out. Subject has no existing physical, curable, or incurable depreciation. There is a 10% external obsolescence given due to the oversaturation of facilities in the immediate vicinity. Post-Hurricane Harvey, the area has seen an increase in development similar to the subject property. Therefore, a 10% adjustment for external obsolescence was given, considering market conditions requiring a longer lease-up period with lower rents and more concessions to compete with other facilities. The next page is an operating statement for dry docks, boat and trailer storage. They use their rent is $4 a foot.
Okay.
Their vacancy is 15%. Their expenses as listed amount to 56%, and they used our cap rate and excess land value, and that's how they got to $772,838. And then the last page is a layout of the facility. Oh, different. Okay. And then for hours, for 49834. Last year it was noticed at 672,550. This is a boat storage that's at the end of 3036, where it dead ends next to where St. Peter's Church used to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one in front of you on 1781. It's a boat storage that was built in 2018. Let's see here. Notice this year at 960,000. The card, I'm gonna go over it real quick. The gross building area is 44,480. Our rate is $4 per foot, and vacancy is 15%, giving an effective gross income of 151,232. Our operating expenses are at 45%. So, and using our cap rate, that gives overall value of 960,840. And then the last is an equity grid showing that we did this boat storage the way we did every other boat storage. The $4 a foot, 15% vacancy, 45% expenses, and a 7 cap. Taxes loaded into it.
But wait, this one, the cap is 7%?
Yes, the base cap rate is 7%, and then you add the tax rate on top of that.
Okay.
So the only difference here between their proposal and our proposal is their cost workup is a little bit better than our cost workup, which is why they ended up at a 778. It's actually higher than their income value. They kind of classed it up. I don't know that I completely agree with this. I don't think this building is an S. They're probably just working off the fact that in our system, we classed it as an S. So part of the reason we moved into income was these boat storages were just inaccurately classed.
So an S is what?
So Marshall Swift does not have they broke down their properties into like, no, I mean like the types of properties get really specific, but they don't have everything. One of the things they don't have is boat storages. And the mini warehouse is like a warehouse. It's what you would expect there to be a forklift in it. So an S-class warehouse should have an office. It should have, security and that kind of thing. Even though it's made for, subdivided out for this guy to use it and that guy to use it, whatever.
But it's okay. So you're saying an S-class is when it's open. You may have your area, but you're not. It isn't just you opening the door, putting your
S
boat
is
in.
like the highest class of mini.
Oh, highest.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like this is a really nice building construction-wise, as far as the frame of the building, what kind of roof it has, does it have amenities, does it have utilities. We had this classed as an S. It probably shouldn't be. That's part of the reason we moved into income. So it just seems to me like whoever did this didn't actually look at the property. They were just working off of our information.
So if you lowered the class, what would it do to this worksheet?
It would give you something like our cost value from last year, which is like 675.
But that might be more appropriate, not the value, but
Well,
that it's the lower class.
Sure, I mean, but that's on a cost basis. So the part of the reason it's income is that you don't get to value on the cost.
Were you saying that the 78 reasonable than our estimate?
No, that was what I'm saying. I think that it's over, like they overdid it.
So you're saying that it should be reduced?
I'm saying their cost workup isn't accurate. But so part of the thing they're doing is they're giving us income information, but the way that they did it, their cost value is higher than their income value.
And did you look at their?
And as a result of that, the person presenting this is saying, you should use a cost value. And I'm saying, that cost value is too high. You should do it on an income basis.
Oh, so they
Oh, I
moved
see.
this to a cost method. They
Yeah,
did it
that's half
cost.
of what they
Right in
did.
the beginning, so.
Yeah. That's half of what they did.
I don't know, but it's, okay. And so that's part of the difference is the methodology.
Yeah, and then after that, they gave us their operating statement. So on an income basis, since the person's not here, the only difference that we're having, because they're using our information, they're using our rent, our vacancy, and our cap rate. The only difference is gonna be in expenses. So if the net operating income goes up, the value goes up. If it goes down, the value goes down. So the more expenses they have, the less their value is. Correct?
Well, are there expenses in their list that are in there erroneously?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see
That was
what,
a question.
this is what I normally have to do, to go through here.
Another question I had is they give you dimensions of these buildings. Did you check their dimensions that they provided to be sure that your net rentable area is approximately the same?
Let's see. I think that they just used ours.
Well, I mean, these expenses are their expenses. How could they be erroneous?
Well, they
Because,
may have included something that's not qualified.
yeah, so if you look at one of them, it says loaded cap instead of listing what their property taxes are. That's because the person who made this knows that in the cap rate, there are property taxes accounted for. So if we put them in the expenses and in the cap rate, we're taking them out twice. In the cap rate is made up of several things, one of which is a management rate. So in here, there's a management fee of $8,982. And that's not an allowable expense for the same reason, because it's in the cap rate. If you allow these things, you just end up with a lower cap rate. You just have to pick one or the other. Let's see. Management fee. Maintenance. So administration, advertising, bank and credit card fees are not allowable.
They aren't?
They're not. Because they get
I mean, those are serious expenses.
yeah, they get passed on in the price of the products.
No, they don't. Not at our place anyway.
I really don't. But I get it. And you're saying you're not gonna
Yeah.
change your equation.
Yeah, I mean, because if you do, all it does is you end up using a lower cap rate. You allow more expenses and just use a lower cap rate.
All right, we got one to kick out, 4119.
And the insurance is good. Maintenance management fee is not. That's $89,882. On-site salaries and contract labor is fine. Professional fees is fine. Rental funds, replacement reserve, security, supplies, property tax, they didn't include it because it's not allowable. And then their utilities are all fine. So it's pretty minor difference. Let's see what we get. So yeah, 66,382 was their NOI plus 2 plus 41,1. So Their actual NOI is 79,453. And then so that would render a value of 887,743.
887,
Eight-
4-3.
743.
all right, so,
I'm
ready to-
740. Yeah, it'd be 740.
I'm gonna make it 740, but I'm ready to, because you used his actual numbers with your equation, so I think we should go with that. So, Ramona, what do you what's your thought?
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
One more thing is the property has excess land that was not added back in there. And the agent did include it. Let's see.
well, then we need to negate that out.
Add it in.
Did you add it in?
I added it in and the agent added it in. He's disputing that there's excess land.
So why are we dealing with another number?
So, right here. If somebody was to be selling this, this would be potential area for expansion, or you could just cut it off and sell it.
Right,
This has nothing to do with this. So
right,
you capitalize all of this,
right,
and then you just add on the land value of that.
yes,
31 grand.
but you said you added it on and you said the agent added it on.
Yeah, but what we,
Yeah.
that 887 number, there was one more step. It just
We didn't add it on.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
it ends up-
33?
It ends up, yeah, it's 31,944.76, so it ends up being 919,219. So it's a terrible number. 919,219.
220. 919.
I'm gonna make it
Sounding number,
200.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it
Okay.
200. I don't like
Do
that.
that too.
All right, so on account number 49834, I do have a question, because the affidavit, I don't see the letter for protest, but the affidavit has both Q1 and Q2. So,
Well, the equity in this is that they were treated the same as every other boat storage. Exactly.
I'll just go ahead and say Q1 and Q2. I don't know, because there isn't a protest form in this file. So, based upon, on account number 49834, taking into consideration a possibility of incorrect appraised market value, and that the appraisal ratio exceeds the median level of appraisal based upon what was presented by the landowner's agent and by the appraisal district. I make a motion.
Just a second, Cindy. There is a property letter, and it does take the position, it is the protest.
Oh, I got it. It's a written letter where it states.
Yes, the appraised value exceeds the market value and or unequally assessed
Okay,
compared to other properties.
this was incorrect. This is not correct. Okay,
You
so
already addressed those.
yes, I did. Yes, I did. But my point is, so we do need to continue to check it. Based upon what we heard from them, I make a motion that we lower the total value for this property to $919,219.
200.
I'm sorry, 200. Gosh, darn it. And I was the one who said, yeah, I'm gonna make it 200.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Teeth out of the dog.
Ramona?
Okay.
Well, no, it does sound, I don't and Eamon, I'm just asking.
I don't like these boat storage things, and I'm just gonna be flat honest with you. I mean, that, I don't like how there's such a huge jump from one year to the next. I don't care what the state says. I still think it's not right.
We know.
I have to go let the dog in. I'll be right back.
Let the dog in.
Dog in.
Oh.
What are we doing?
I think we're doing 1513.
The next one.
1513. Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay, so Eamon, my question is, so where in the equation did the additional property get subtracted out to where it had to be added back in? That's what I'm not, I didn't
Well, when he made
see
his
that.
calculation, he left it out.
Got it. The,
I know, but in that, I didn't see where it was taken out.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute, we're waiting on something.
Okay.
I'm having Eamon show me where the additional property was taken out, so therefore it needed, it isn't that I don't trust you, I
No, no,
just
no,
don't
it's okay.
see it.
it doesn't get taken out. This is the building area of what gets rented. This is their rentable area. So this boat storage.
This is the rentable area.
44,480, not of the land, of the actual
Yes,
storages.
okay,
So then you get this number, and then that number is the excess land value, 31,476.
okay, and the 31,476, that's based, where do you get your numbers as far as what you should, because that's
Yeah,
per
that's,
square foot?
yes.
So I mean, I think
It's what it
that
would
is
be if it
something
was
we need.
vacant land, that it was our,
It's the appraisal district's opinion of what that additional land is worth.
yeah.
So I think that we may, just, in
If it
my
was a-
opinion, I want to look at those just to see.
Can we
Not on
proceed?
this. I
Yeah,
understand.
and then right here at the end of theirs, they did the same thing. They just
Where are you going?
got excess land value.
Okay.
They're not just.
Where are you going?
Okay, we're opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1513, account 60120. This is a stated hearing. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. At the table are Robert Dayton, Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, Charlie Powers, and on Zoom, Ramona LeBlanc. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 4166.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person on this property in violation of tax code numbers 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of section 41.66.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F and am signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Karate, notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in Texas.
All testimony must be given under oath.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board to Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. The property owner is being represented certified by an affidavit.
One point before you come on. The property letter, again, this is a similar letter, is a Q1 and Q2.
You know what I think may be happening on these forms? I think it's cutting off. You know, maybe, because maybe there was a Q2 on there, maybe it's
On the
just
case
cut
listing?
on this
Yeah,
page.
I'll look at it.
Thank you.
The affidavit of evidence is for account 60021. The property owner is TLC Storage Limited, care of David Reagan A, 110 Bayshore Drive, Ingleside, Texas, 78362 4855. 303-915-3323. Property description is 2762 FM 3036, Rockport, Texas, 78382. The legal description is Spanish Oaks, Unit 1, Block 1, Lot 1R, acres 3.413. Reasons for protest: incorrect appraised market value and values unequal compared with other properties. The evidence included is listed as being 7 pages. Statement of facts and arguments that can help resolve the case. The enclosed CAD property information card shows an effective date of 6/26/20. This also shown in the adjusted value of all the improvements. Also shown is the adjusted value of all the improvements, including those built in 2018 and the depreciated remnants of those built in 1999. The adjusted improvement value is $593,710. Since the property is not yet complete, the income approach is not appropriate. Valuation should be based on cost. Only 2,112 square feet of building A is minimally functional. Maximum building area is 47,217 square feet. There is demolition yet to be done. Our cost analysis resulted in a final value of $767,965. However, based on ACAD information, the 2020 total value should be $670,900, including land at $77,190. Hearing type selected is I do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and the evidence can be used at the hearing if I do not appear in person.
Am I on the right property?
No, by accident, they put 1513, but actually it should actually be 1512.
I was just gonna say the same. Wrong property?
No,
Yeah, one.
on our thing, it's
Oh.
just that it should be 1512,
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
but the one above it,
That's what I thought, and I was like, what's going on here? Because
021 is under 1513,
Got it.
but it's also in its own file. So
And there is no,
So we're on 600.
We're in the one that's TLC Storage Limited. The property description is 2762 FM 3036.
I thought she said it
That's the
was
center of the page,
513.
page 2.
yes, but all of their information is,
It's for this.
well, no, it's down under 1513.
yes, it is. That's why I was confused for a minute.
Right, me too. So I sat here and figured it out. So the 1513 in our little fire deal is actually 1512. We have it
Oh.
twice,
Yes.
but their evidence is under R
Wow.
1513.
That's
So I
funny.
should be in property 60120. The dry
No,
docks, boat and trailer.
No,
no,
Like TLC.
Yeah, that was a test.
you should be under 621.
21.
Yeah, it's gonna be 1512.
Got it. And 20 was in the wrong one by accident, but-
It was right.
Yeah, I just put it in the wrong.
Difference in price.
Yes, we caught you.
I know, I was like going,
testing it all.
in case number 1512,
So
there
you
is
just
there is
sign
no affidavit.
I think it's
just
It's
ignore
just, it's in
that.
the wrong,
Just go to 1513.
yeah, and I can
Because
switch it over if y'all want.
1513 is 1512.
I just put it in the wrong slot.
So the 1512, second one on our properties information, the second one down on page 2.
Yeah, I think when we're not sure, we should default to the property owner's affidavit of evidence, ID, and property description, which is the 2762 FM 3036. That's the TLC Storage Limited one.
And it also says 621.
Okay, so for the record, for this hearing, we are hearing case 20201512, number 60021. That's the correct.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
You're here.
Thank you, Cindy, for figuring that out for us.
Okay. The first part of their included evidence is sort of a property card that they made. It shows the property, the year-over-year change. Let's see here. So last year it was noticed at 572,760. This year it was noticed at 1,409,710. It has notes. It says the subject is currently under construction with 44,096 square feet completed in 2019 and 21,640 square foot building A that required demolition due to the damage sustained during Hurricane Harvey. This remaining building has no inherent value. National demolition costs range from $4 to $8 a square foot. Demolition of the remaining improvements are estimated at $4.13 a square foot, with no part of the remaining building being salvageable. The owner has 11 units of the damaged building leased for storage in the interim at minimal rent. Therefore, actual net livable area for 2020 is currently estimated at 43,208 square feet. This says TLC Storage Limited, property ID 60021 2762 FM 3036, Rockport, Texas 78382. And this letter is from Reagan David. It says the Aransas County 2020 notice of appraised value is $1,409,710.00. There are so many reasons this is incorrect, I'll have to list them by number. 1, property was totally destroyed August 25th, 2017 by Hurricane Harvey. The tear down, cleanup, and rebuild is not yet completed. It takes time and money to get all that done, and the business is not back on its feet. Only 2 of the original buildings have been replaced. It is operating at a negative cash flow now, and funds are running low. Pictures attached. The county is also overtaxing this property due to a large disparity in the square footage that the Aransas County CAD property tax site is showing and the actual functional square footage. The county shows 67,470 square feet. There have only been 2 buildings replaced. One at 14,796 square feet and the other at 29,120 square feet. So that is a total of 44,096 square feet. The county is taxing an additional 23,374 square feet. There is an unused non-functional shell of the old building that is in the process of being demolished and removed. Pictures and map enclosed. Major flooding, number 3. Major flooding started June 2018 and left 2 to 3 feet, yes, feet of standing water at TLC storage. Sporadic rain continued for several months, so water kept coming into the complex with no way out. I have met with several county officials about the problem. Addressed and attended many of the Stormwater and Floodplain Management Advisory Committee meetings presenting a solution. They agree, but to date there has been no action taken. An interesting tidbit is a portion of these high property taxes is allotted to county road and flood. This flooding is a large factor, why the appraisal must be lowered to get in line with what it's really worth. I ask you, would you buy a storage complex that is flooded this badly? I'm stuck with it, but I wouldn't. If it went on the market today, the flooding would have to be disclosed and the sales price would plummet. Pictures enclosed. The original 3rd building of 76 units cannot be replaced as it was because 38 of these units were 12 by 16. Obviously, this unit size is used primarily for personal belongings and furniture, which would be destroyed in the next flood. The income lost from the original building is almost as much as the other 2 buildings combined. 2019 profit and loss statement attached. Due to the above stated facts, the county appraisal must be substantially reduced to below even last year's valuation of $572,760. I'm Reagan David. And the next pictures are pictures of the property in its damaged state after Hurricane Harvey. There's 2 of those. And then there is a cost workup indicating the value of $767,964. And it has a similar note to the other one about
Wait.
its Class S warehouse and
And I'm sorry, so their total was what?
$767,964.
Okay.
Then they highlighted parts of our property card from 2020. They highlighted our land value and the improvements value. And then they included a layout of the facility with a big X over one of the buildings. It says old shell of a building.
So do you need
And
some
there's a lot.
time to now take their numbers and see if there's a difference?
So I have to present, I'll just present our evidence, because
Okay.
I do have to present it. Piece of land.
I think 1513, the one we thought first was the other little corner there.
Got it. Okay, our evidence is under 1512.
Which is your evidence?
Okay, our evidence is listed as ACAD evidence under account 1512 on my tablet, case 1512.
You're right.
I just got turned around.
Did you hear that, Ramona?
Yes, I know. I'm toggling between the two of them right now.
Okay, so this is 60021. It is a boat storage, very close to the one that we just heard about.
Oh, but
It is on 3036, and it says 2019 market value 572,760. This year it was noticed at 1,409,710. The dry docks, or sorry, it's TLC storage. Net rentable area is listed as being 67,470. Was given $4 a foot rent, 15% vacancy, 45% expenses, and it has no excess land value or any other additional values. So it's just capitalizing its income of $126,000 per year. Get the market value. The equity grid shows it's being treated the same as every other boat storage using the same lease rate, expenses, cap rate. Okay. Back into there. Back there. So as far as like presenting my response to this and explaining what's going on, there's a lot of different opinions of value that they presented and they don't all jive. The letter from Reagan David said that the appraisal must be substantially reduced to below even last year's value. But then there's other values proposed in here that are well over last year's value. 670,000 is in the affidavit, and then their workups, even their cost workup is 767,000.
What do you get with your workup and the proper square footage of rentable space?
but see, I think he came up with a number and then the water factor wasn't in there. And then that's where, then when you take the flooding factor, I think that's where the end of the story.
The cost workup includes $90,000 for demolition of building A, and they're not including its square footage. So the three different numbers are complete opinions of value. They're all wildly different.
And slightly different square footages too.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all over the place. And I will point out
They were different.
that this property owner, something that's missing in here is his actual income. Because it wouldn't help. But that being said,
Wait, you said the property owner is his actual income.
didn't include his actual income here. If you look through here, there's no operating statement, there's no profit loss statement. He's not disclosing how much money this facility is making right now as it is currently.
But he is saying that one unit is not usable.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, he said he is using it. He just said that it's damaged. He said he is renting it.
There's one that's gonna be torn
But
down.
it's open,
Yeah.
he's
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows that the reason these properties are so high valued is because they make a lot of money. Like, he is making as much money as we think he's making. The point he's making is a technical one, not a factual one. This is a boat storage in excess of $1 million in value. But that being said, making an argument about the net rentable area, and I'm open to figuring that out. When we measured this, we did account for some of this place was really damaged, and then he kind of fixed a lot of it. Some of it's not done. So the net rentable area here is not the gross building area. If we just take their whole enchilada and say it's what their net rentable area is, let's see.
47 something.
Yeah, I wanna, because like I was saying, there's one that says
So you're going back to
4496.
Yeah.
And then one that says 4496. And then I want to make sure that the third one has the same net rentable area. This one says 787. And then this one up here says 47,217 on the affidavit. All over the place.
If you look at their sketches that have the one building X'd out, that's the 44096.
Right. I'm just going to use the lowest of the three, whatever they end up being. I just want to make sure I'll just use the lowest of the three.
Okay, so you run that, what happens?
Okay. For, tax rate is.
What's your new NOI?
Is there anybody else out there
So 30.
No, I think these,
I don't
that's
know.
what they were saying, these were only two.
Unless somebody's, let me text back in.
It's too late.
82,450.
82,450?
Yeah.
All right, and when you apply the cap rate?
I'm trying to get the tax rate real quick.
20.
So that makes it 921,335. 921,335.
Is what it should be.
But do you
Yes.
mind kind of walking, do you mind now that you've got that number, now can we walk through it together, please?
What
This-
evidence, do you want his evidence or yours?
Well, very
Just a
confusing,
picture,
but
just a-
there-
Well, I
that's fine.
was talking, I
Listen,
didn't know what he
theirs.
wanted.
So this is the boat storage. The difference was in the rentable area of this building, and this building. As you can see, this one is clearly open, wide open, nothing happening. So we didn't include this. We had this building and this building.
So you took out the 21,600.
What I'm saying is from the beginning, the district has always known that this building is just a roof.
So in your original
They're
number,
saying that this
wasn't
one is
there?
also messed up. And that it needs to be demolished or something. Can we get the square footage of this center building, Jackie? Just the square footage of this one?
Yeah. I'm gonna have
I
to,
don't know if I can say anything. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I do know for a fact that this area floods. These boat storage floods a lot.
I mean, the thing is, if they flood and that's bad and you can't keep your boat in there, people wouldn't do it, or they would do it for less money. They would charge less rent, or they'd have less customers. Because it would-
29,416 square feet.
Okay, so it's both of those buildings. What was I gonna say? This facility isn't charging less in rent, and they're not having abnormal vacancy.
You know that because in this letter, under his valuation summary, there is one, the last statement. He isn't specifically saying, but he alludes to the fact that they are charged, period, with lower rents and more concessions to compete with other facilities.
He's talking about he's renting out, if you look at the ones the side that's really damaged, there's a few doors that are still on there, and he's renting those in the building that needs to be demolished.
Which is the one, the whole area?
For the whole area. I would guess the whole area floods. It sounds like what he's saying. And that's not good.
These.
Well, he must have known that before.
No,
The-
not necessarily, because
It's fine.
Riviera
The
did
thing
Well, I
that,
think
before the hurricane.
the bottom line is, what this guy's doing is he's capitalizing this into income. This property owner in the other case just showed us how much money he was making. If he could show us he was making less money than we thought, his value would go down. We know that, he knows that, everybody knows that, but he isn't. And the reason he didn't share it with us is because this place is making a lot of money.
So he
it's doing
didn't,
fine.
he didn't supply you
No.
with the information you needed to fill out your equation to come up with the
The
actual
Only thing he did
number.
was dispute the net operating income.
But he gave his expenses, right, or no?
No,
Not for this place.
no, he didn't. He didn't give his expenses or his rent.
For a reason.
So
Yeah.
that being said, the fact that he has found a way to make money off this building that's all messed up, I'm in agreement with him that it's reasonable to just ignore it. Just ignore the whole building. I don't care that he is renting out those 5 spaces to his friends for $100 a month or something instead of $150. Like, that's fine. The buyer would say, I gotta destroy this whole building, put a new one in. He's not wrong about that. The thing is, all we're looking at is these 2 that are working. The 2 that are working are generating income, and there's a net rentable area discrepancy there. That's all it is.
So fixing the net
So you're,
yields is 921,335.
Correct.
I can live with that number, kind of.
That's reasonable.
Okay.
Reasonable.
All right, so on account number 60021. Taking into consideration incorrect appraised market value and the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal. Based on what we heard from the appraisal district and from the property owner's agent, I make a motion that we lower the value to 900. Kathy, I need you to restate.
921,335.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. So 921,300.
In favor?
Aye.
Where is it?
So are we doing this last one?
1513?
No, it's one of their accounts.
This is the one you just did. The affidavit I gave you was incorrect, so I need y'all to sign the affidavit I just gave you. Yeah.
Do we have another affidavit?
We're not doing
That
it
was it for
on,
8:30. They're not doing their third one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they
There
talked
you
about earlier.
Yeah, it's because just.
Okay.
So at 10 o'clock, we have Brian coming up, but he's gonna be on the phone. He's got 2 accounts.
Oh, Sergio, nice.
Yeah, so. I don't know if y'all want to try to
Sergio,
see if we have another affidavit,
No, it's a guy. It works for Ryan.
Ryan's
We-
agent.
We've done one with other applications.
with
Nick, I
Sergio,
look,
Oh, you said.
Yeah, I was like, you know, at
Cynthia
10
doesn't
o'clock,
have
we're
an
gonna have a
attitude,
call
does it?
in.
'Cause
We
today
have-
I'm not over.
We have somebody who's called in already?
No, so do you want me to look at affidavits?
Yeah.
He's new.
Let me go see what we got.
Tax agent.
Yeah. Right. Just gonna look for affidavits. There's nobody called in.
For 8:30.
It's 8:30.
Well, they- too
We're
late
not,
now.
we got 40 minutes,
I know that,
10 o'clock, so.
cause I got like, when I had my
Do
coffee,
we have any other
instead of my
affidavits
blood
to be
pressure
added
going
this
down,
afternoon?
it went up.
Who's
I've
gonna
always
look?
been left,
Oh, we could do
always,
those.
Yeah.
very athletic and left.
She's
Then
gonna get
all of a
whatever she
sudden,
has that we can do.
And like, they keep having to add on and different, and I know that there's also, and I've talked to a whole lot of people. What do you call it when there isn't a problem, but you perceive? Thank you. That's very common,
Yeah.
like,
It used to
very.
happen to me. I got panic attacks in my early 20s. And I was working somewhere and a customer told me, that sounds like a panic attack. And I was like, yeah. And they said they knew somebody who worked at a cash register and it had like a low, it was like a confined space. And apparently you got to get out of the closed confined space. And so I would go outside and it's one of those things you learn
How to deal with it.
it's coming, I gotta do something about it. But like, if you don't cope with it well, man, it'll mess you up.
My
It'll
nephew
mess you up
has
bad.
really bad habits. He got a dog.
Yeah, I
And
had,
he trained the dog, he even took it to school, had the dog trained to, they know when you have to have it.
and they just give you a little bit of stability.
It's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, when,
I know you can't get a dog, but
right,
Sure he could.
No, I'm not
His
getting,
daughter, he can't.
I don't
Oh,
really,
that's right.
I don't get those anymore. I was extremely stressed, extremely broke,
all you
extremely, feel like my life was super rough at that time. But there was like a point where it was like 2 a.m. and I was like shaking and crying and thinking, I thought I was gonna die. I really I didn't think I was gonna die. I knew I was gonna die.
Right.
That's a
And-
panic attack.
Yeah, and I was like, my wife was there and I was just like, this is it. This is, I'm not gonna see tomorrow. And thought I was gonna die.
Just to show you, if
And,
you have multiple, it'll all.
It was rough. And
One
then
thing
for
that
like,
How'd you get over those?
Description.
for weeks
So
after
that's why
that,
she
I
gave you
couldn't
the
watch TV
Well,
shows. with,
see,
like,
and
a
the
lot of
reason I say
gunfire and
that,
stuff.
okay,
It would
see
freak me
this,
out. I was
this
just
had
like, I
both
can't,
of them.
It's like
Okay.
stressing me out.
and
Just say you
so
had
this
three
is the
young
same
I only had
deal,
one at the time. but once
same
you put it out,
company,
it's
everything. And so
stress.
that's why,
Problems. But the
obviously.
my blood pressure
I mean,
thing is genetic. It's just
And
genetic.
that's okay, we're
We've
human.
done-
No,
I've done
yeah, I don't
everything. I've done all
even,
the-
you know, I'm just saying,
I do. And
I need
have
to
It was like a last
continue to
stop.
clarify, you know, and
Yes,
look in
yeah.
Where it was
there.
like, oh, you
But
tried this kind of
That's what
exercise,
made,
and you
cause it was
tried
like,
this
okay,
lifestyle
you know,
change. and you
cause he
tried-
did
tried,
like one
you know,
after.
everything,
Yeah,
trying to
no
cover.
caffeine, low sodium.
And that's why I thought, oh, and it is right
And
there
because
near
by
the
the end of it, it
line,
was
so I
like
thought,
nothing was working. And I was on
Yeah, I
beta
just wanted to show
blocker
you
for a while, and then my body got used to
Just so
it.
you know, I'm not
Stopped
lying.
being-
I'm not-
It'll print out
I'm not-
everything.
My blood pressure went
I'm-
up, but
I'm
tired.
not doing it
This is a bad
No,
deal.
I know you want
So they put
clarification.
me
I
on-
understand.
What I'm on now.
We have to
I don't know what
wait.
it's called. Oh, it's an
There's no
angiotensin receptor blocker.
affidavits. No.
And it
No.
just,
That's
oh,
the name of it.
15-minute break.
What's the name of it?
it's, I think it's Losartan.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
I think I'm taking Losartan. And it's, it just lowers
No
blood
affidavit.
pressure. And it's worked
Have surgeons.
super well. Like,
Some people
and like
take
last night when I was
Band-Aids
feeling real
off
bad, I
of
was like, oh, I should take my blood pressure. It's like 135/94 or so.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, so it's good. If it got some
I mean, for
spooky
your age,
number.
it's a little high, but you should.
Yeah, you know, when I wasn't when I wasn't taking anything, it was really bad. It was like if I was just having like if I went to the post office, it'd be like 165/105.
That's not good.
Yeah, and it's just like when I worked out, my top number would be over 200. Yeah, and it was like I felt bad. I felt like I got hit by a truck,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, oh, well, what's causing this? And it's just genetic. Like, does your family have a history of heart problems? Yes. Who? All of
So does mine.
Wait, let's list who doesn't.
them. Yeah, exactly.
I
It's
have
like,
to take two blood pressure, one in the morning and one at night, two different ones.
oh, really?
And my blood pressure normally, for my age, should be higher, but I got it down to like 127 or 175.
Oh,
Ooh, you're good, Kathy.
For my age, that's low.
Yeah.
So I take 2 blood pressure medications to keep it there.
Yeah, yeah. And it was good. It also
But
like,
you should be somewhere around there for your age.
yeah.
I mean, even though you have the genetic history, like I do too,
Mhm.
blood pressure medication should be able to control it.
Oh, yeah.
Close to it.
And it doesn't really get, like,
you need a
that'll
different
be
one.
my blood pressure when I'm asleep. That's like me sleeping.
You what?
That's my blood pressure when I'm asleep.
What is it when you're awake?
Like 15, 20 points higher than that.
Well, maybe you need different blood pressure medication.
It's better than what it was. It's better than what it was.
Do you have a doctor that's
Yeah, and we
a heart
doing a little,
doctor?
yeah, doing a little charts and tracking everything. And
Pretty good.
like I said, I'm not feeling bad now. I just feel tired. It's like I had a really long night.
I wanted to let y'all know that tomorrow morning, you don't need to be here until 10 a.m.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
8:30 docket is cleared. Yeah. Ramona, are you there? Did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am, I heard.
We don't have, do we know if we have anybody at 10 yet? We don't know yet.
But right, this was just stuff that was settled ahead of time. You don't have to wait until
10:15.
somebody calls or, right.
Do we
We've
have
got
any, do we have any affidavits for this afternoon we can do this morning?
No, it's an agent and he's coming in person.
He is coming.
This afternoon.
I just talked to him. So he confirmed he will be here in person.
Who is it this afternoon?
The agent is WB
Is that
Lockhart.
Brett Bones' agent?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Thanks,
We
Al.
did this last, we did it last.
You know, the one little advantage is in the process of figuring all this out, you know, well, I was working from home, so I could take my blood pressure like all the time. And I could like sit there, because you know you're not supposed to take your blood pressure like, hey, walk into this office, and then the nurse has you sit down and
You know, it's gonna be high, because
come over here, and then they just take it real quick, and then they take it once and then they just go rip it off your arm. That's super inaccurate.
you're not supposed to take it.
You're supposed to like take a break, get to a baseline, and then they'll take it on your arm and your thigh, and they'll figure it out. And so I would be working, you know, and just not stressed out when I was super stressed out, and when I was doing things, when I was doing nothing, late at night, early in the morning, all these different things, and really get a grip on it. Because before you do that stuff, you have no idea. Someone's just like, hey, that's your blood pressure. And you're like, is that a lot? Is that a little? I don't know.
It can change by a lot of points just between, they say like when you walk into a doctor's office, you're either you have something, you're anxious about it or whatever, so your blood pressure is high. So
Yeah.
you do take it right away, and then if it's a little high, they should say, okay, you settle down and you talk to the doctor, whatever, but take it again.
Right.
That's what they want.
See, and they can't use, you know, now they've gone to those
things, they don't
cheaters.
work.
They don't, on me, they can't use them.
Oh, yeah, they keep not reading. Because they do.
No, mine show it like,
Oh.
okay, you're dead now.
Mine's like, okay, stop moving. They don't do it. Do it again. It's gotta do it again. This thing sucks.
And
You know,
see,
they-
every
there's a
single
doctor
time
who
it
did
has to do it
literally-
again,
He literally did.
my
like
blood pressure goes,
numbers.
and I can feel it going up, because I've got white coat syndrome. Because when I had Macaulay, I ended up being in the hospital for like 2 weeks in the intensive care because they couldn't get my blood pressure down and they didn't know why. So I didn't even get Bill and my sister Paula were out at this ranch in the middle of nowhere, you know, and I didn't even get to like hold Macaulay for the first 2. And so I knew, you know, it meant every time that blood pressure cuff went off, that was my opportunity that I might get to go home and be with my baby.
Yeah, it's stress.
So it has now,
That's true.
so ever since that, you know, that was 19 years ago, because my blood pressure used to be way low. I mean, I'd run and run and run and they could never get, it was just way low. And now it's like way up. And so every time they put a cuff on me, I mean, I'm like, I can just feel it. You know, you can feel it
You
going,
take blood pressure medication?
oh, I take all kinds. And they're constantly trying to changing it because, you know, some of them, when you bend over and you get back
Yeah,
up.
that was one of the things I stopped taking that.
It
Yeah, it was the
Topo, I think so.
You do?
causes orthostatic hypotension.
No.
Where you can't do burpees.
That's not
You
everybody
cannot
can
do
debate
burpees.
it.
You can't.
Wait,
But
what?
you cannot do burpees.
Cause you'll fall, no,
You'll
cause you'll
lie
like,
down, laying down, and you get back up, and like you feel like
You're
you
just
don't know
like-
where everything is, and you're busy, and your legs want to get out, and everything. Like, are you okay? And I was like, I really do these, and they're just like, okay, because it's the gym, and there would be things that I couldn't do, and they would be like, okay, try this, but it's like a lighter weight, or just do this, and I'm like, it's not hard, I just can't do it. Like, it's not that it's like I'm not struggling, it's just like I get like knocked over doing it, and it's because what your body needs to do is to like slam blood down to your legs to get you to do that, and that drug is literally stopping your heart from doing that. It's telling it, hey, don't. So everything just has to be a lot more gradual. But the stuff I'm on now doesn't do that, so it's pretty nice. But between that and like, I wore one of the Fitbit things with a heart rate monitor in it, and I did.
see, I can't, like, they wanted me and it was like, you don't understand. Every time I have to take my, I'll just cause it to go up.
Well, the good thing is you get to where you know what it feels like when pressure's high
Well, that's-
versus when your pulse is high. So
Right,
you could be agitated and your pulse go up because you're in an argument or something, but your blood pressure is not high. And then there's times where your blood pressure can be elevated, but your pulse is really low, and you're like, I just feel bad. So learning to know the difference, like last night,
You
when
can
I
take your own little finger things where you can take your blood pressure level.
Yeah, I got you.
Under,
Yeah, oxygen level.
Oxygen level.
yeah, and I
And that can make a difference in being.
checked all the blood sugar stuff to see if that was what it was, and if it was that. But I called. He was like, "Do you need to go to a doctor?" I was like, "I don't want to go to a doctor. It's going to hours. There's gonna be all this COVID stuff. It just sounds like a pain in the butt." And I was like, "It's not getting worse. It's just not going away." And so I called. And apparently, urgent cares are not open after hours, but ERs are. So I
Right.
called the ER and was like, "Hey, are you guys in our insurance thing? And by the way, should I even bother? Like, is this something I should go to the ER for? I don't know." And she was like, "Well, have you tried taking any antacids?" And I was like, "It's not." Like, that's the thing. Like, you when you have gone through all that and monitored all of it, you learn, oh, that's what indigestion and heartburn feels like. That's what chest pain feels like, you know. And just you learn to feel the difference. When I was younger, I thought that was my mom was very asthmatic, and she would talk about chest tightness. I don't have asthma, so I have no idea what she's actually talking about. But I would get chest pain, and I would think, oh, maybe this is what. Maybe I have asthma. Maybe it's chest tightness. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's my lungs, you know. And so I would try to breathe, and it didn't help, and eventually I figured out like it's not my lungs, you know. But it feels like you got a metal bar going from like right here to the center of my back, and then like up into my throat, and it just like if it goes on too long, you start getting confused.
Sure it's not indigestion heartburn or.
That's what I was just saying. Like
Probably, it's fine, I get that, that's what it is.
really,
Yeah, like tight chest or hurts
Well,
in here or here.
yeah,
I
no,
take,
it's like a
some kind of antibiotic, not antibiotic,
And acid.
an acid, yeah.
Right.
I just drink it out of the bottle.
yeah.
Gaviscon or one of those. I've had ulcers in the past. I used to carry, whatever those Gaviscon or equivalent around in my pocket, just all day.
That's funny.
Damn stuff.
Before I was on any blood pressure medication, I was like, I was having trouble like self-regulating. Like I would get worked up or angry about something, and it would just, I couldn't calm down. It would just like wind up like an engine that's just been spooled up, and it was very difficult to deal with. But it was essentially impossible to deal with. But what's funny is I don't feel very different when I'm on blood pressure medication than when I'm not. Like, I don't,
Yeah, but your body knows. and you should-
but my wife is like really good at going, hey, something is wrong. She don't have since we were teenagers. Forever. So she's like, I pretty much just take her word for it when she's like, you're changing medication, or we switched to a different, when they ran out of the stuff from China, one of the stuff that I take, the people that make it in China got their factory shut down in spring. So when I went to go get a refill, they were like, we don't have it. I gotta wait to get some more, and I got replacements, and it was weird looking, it was blue, and
Different manufacturer.
and it didn't work as good. It was like obvious it didn't work as good. Kind of funny.
Jesus.
But I used to think a lot better. Before, you know, like it's like with the high blood pressure and hypertension, like I thought way better. I was like faster and sharper and
How old are you?
could do a lot more. I'm in my early 30s.
Well, part of that's getting old, well, but
I mean
Not that
like,
old.
I know he is.
no, I mean like a
No,
couple-
that's what I was like, wait, how old are you?
Yeah. Like even if I just stopped taking it, because I took blood pressure medication for a while, and then I thought, well, maybe, you know,
Once you take it, you pretty much are on it for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
it's not like it goes away.
Unless you
pretty
lose it.
much.
When I lose weight,
Well,
If I do
used
stop
to
taking
take
it.
3 blood pressure medications, and when I lost a ton of weight, then
But yeah, I mean, when I was working from home, before I was taking it, like I felt bad, and I wasn't taking care of myself, but I was getting probably almost double the amount of work done. Just, and I was hot all the time, you know, just hot and sweating all the time. Just my body was just in overdrive all the time. But yeah, I would get so much more work done. Crazy.
taking drugs is fun. You know, because sometimes they'll be great for years, and then all of a sudden your body says, I'm done with that one. So stops doing any good.
Yeah, that was what I thought. Mine was like, hey, we found a thing we're good with, and then all of a sudden, it just slowly started not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was still getting those side effects, like the hypotension thing, and I was like, this is dumb. I'm getting all the side effects and none of the benefits. It's also annoying because like you everything's good for a while, and then when something like that happens, you're like, crap, what if there's nothing left to do? Like,
right.
you're
But there
constantly
is.
worried.
But here's the deal, especially on the heart, there's so many different options.
And same with all the things, you know, there's very few drugs that are the only drug.
Right.
Well, you know, and I was looking last night, and it said that if you have angina, that you're supposed to be taking nitroglycerin for it. That'll help
Well,
with it.
years ago they did, I don't know if they do anymore.
It still says that nitroglycerin
People do
is what
still.
you should take, but and my dad had a little thing of it for that. But apparently, before nitroglycerin was a popular prescription, like in the 18th century and before, the recommendation was brandy.
No, they gave you brandy.
Well, I'm kind of thinking that's a good idea.
It's a
Hey, listen, they're gonna cut off your leg, they gave you brandy. If they were gonna do, you know, dental procedures.
There was a
back then, they
study
gave you
that I
brandy.
found that was talking about it being a cardiovascular value as clinical value of spirits as a cardiovasodilator were not well studied. And basically saying like, people should think about things even a preventative thing, you know. And I was just like,
Well, there we go.
This is
We'll
science
carry
I
around-
can-
Exactly.
Brandy or whiskey?
it's the alcohol. It's not
The problem is I didn't drink enough.
Yes, you drink.
I mean, if you think, you know,
Right, Ramona?
I don't know.
Say that.
you know, there's people who culturally their people eat high starch diets, and they do good in high starch diets.
Oh,
So
but the Chinese and the Japanese eating all that rice and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and they're trying to eat, you know,
Yeah.
They eat a lot of carbs and they still stay thin.
Would
And
die.
They do really bad with dairy,
Can't.
and then you have Northern Europeans who do great with dairy.
The Mediterranean.
All kinds of stuff happens with dairy for them. It doesn't help with other people. It makes them sick to their stomach, but like it regulates all kinds of stuff. So it's probably just a genetic difference. It's just like your thing, you do your thing.
If you ask a doctor what's the best diet to be on, or what's the best food, whatever, to be on, they will tell you the Mediterranean diet is basically the best way to eat food.
It's whatever makes you feel the best.
Delicious. Your diet just fish and olives.
Fish and olives.
Delicious. Wine and bread and fish and olives is great.
Now but that's interesting though, because like the Italians, Mediterranean diet, the Spaniards, whatever, they tend to get fat. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the carbs, or maybe it's well, the Japanese, they eat all those carbs and rice, and they don't get fat. They say tiny. Yeah, well, I guess a lot of it's just genetic, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I bet it is.
But that's funny that whatever you were reading cited brandy as specifically.
Yeah, because that was what was something in the literature for it.
But you still, think about it, when you think of brandy, you think about, think about the other things, because when you're drinking, I could be in a bar, I can be whatever. But brandy, you think more of, you're relaxing, you're sitting,
More like an after dinner sit down.
and you're holding it and you're relaxed and you're not having a mean discussion, it's just, you drink brandy when you're.
It's so funny to me when stuff that's meant to treat hypertension, where they're like, okay, here's what you should do. You should go on a long walk. And you're like, okay, what kind of walk? Is it okay if it's uphill? Or they're like, it's all right, just any kind of walk. Like, okay, well, is it okay if I go on a walk through the office? No, you have to get out of the office. And eventually you're like, it's not the walk, is it?
They're like, not that walk.
All the advice is just like, hey, do these things that require everybody to leave you the heck alone for a little bit. It's like,
You can walk in the park or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, parks are all closed. now, so you can't
tell
do that.
everybody to stop being such a pain in the butt.
Your orders from the two that y'all just did?
Okay.
Yeah, it says alcohol has been regarded as a valuable
This is-
drug in the treatment of angina pectoris. The
Yes.
earliest description of disease was Heberden in 1786. It's rated by most contemporary authorities as one of the few effective coronary vasodilators, second only to nitrates.
Huh.
The effects of 1 or 2 ounces of whiskey or brandy in terminating an anginal attack is said to be comparable in many instances to the results obtained with glyceryl trinitrate. Nevertheless, it's in prevention rather than in the treatment of these episodes that alcohol has been deemed of particular clinical value. Physicians frequently prescribe it in angina pectoris as a routine prophylactic measure, and especially before contemplated effort or excitement.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Have a drink. Food that used to be out there all the
Have a
time.
drink.
All the donuts and stuff. Where'd
Oh.
that all go?
What happened?
Yeah, the hot, I haven't seen anything in about a week. Who usually brings that stuff?
Mike.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
Mike.
Mike.
So what's up
Mike's
with
falling down in
Mike?
the job.
I don't know.
Mike has been busy with other
Right.
stuff. That's-
You're back. Did you have a good time? Come here and show us your tan.
Well, he didn't have a good time.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You were with your mother-in-law? No, you're fine.
He was on lockdown.
I was in lockdown.
Oh,
Scott was with him.
it
I've been
was
in
Scott that was,
Quarantine.
I thought you were in New,
No, that's Scott.
He's been in quarantine.
He's been in quarantine for how many
All
weeks?
us white people look the same to you, huh?
right.
How many weeks were you gone?
Huh?
How many weeks were you gone?
3?
I
Almost
was
three?
gone, the last time I was here was the 16th.
Okay,
So did you get it or were you you had been exposed?
I was exposed. We had a girl in our house who was pregnant and thought she had been experiencing morning sickness.
Oh, dear God.
And so she just thought she had morning sickness. And then this morning sickness never went away. And so she realized that maybe something else was going on.
Does
So
she have it?
Yeah, she had COVID, and then
You're okay now?
7 days later, my wife got it.
Oh, for goodness sake. Well, and I know there was a kid that all of our kids, like, through different groups,
Uh-huh.
that there were a couple actually of kids that our kids know
Uh-huh.
that had it. And
My
they-
wife was just down for about 3 days. She never ran a fever.
Really? So
And then
she was
that-
one of those that said it wasn't that bad.
But she the really, really fatigued. She gets tired super
Still?
fast. Mhm.
So she's not over it yet.
Well, she's over it. The doctor told her that like it could be months before that goes away. Or there could be several months of just
tired.
general fatigue.
And you didn't get it?
No, me or the kids, none of us got it.
So you've
She
been,
couldn't taste or smell. She can't taste or smell anything.
Still.
like at all, she can't?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, that would be so weird.
Wow.
And then, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 friends that have it, unrelated to us. We weren't in the same contact group, and all 4 of them either are right now or were very, 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 very sick.
Ill.
Oh, wow.
Very sick.
In the
Like
hospital, sick or?
sick.
home?
2 of them. But all 4 of them was like sickness of a lifetime, like
Ooh.
as sick as they've ever been.
Wow.
Yeah,
So did you get all your honeydews done?
that's what I've been doing.
But
It was
is
like,
everybody cleared up now? I mean, so you tested negative, obviously.
I never tested. My doctor wouldn't test me. He said that you should get tested if you have
If you have
symptoms.
symptoms.
And that it's his opinion that people shouldn't be out just getting tested. And that you shouldn't trust the antibody test.
That's the blood test.
Because all it means is that you don't have antibodies, you could be raging sick, and have some kind of confidence or go back to work. You could, that's what people are using it for, is they're trying to get back into work. So they're going to get that rapid test and it says negative. I can go back to work, take Advil.
You mean, so there,
We're all
you recommend
good
take the
right now.
test that takes like 3 days to come back, like
The one where they go
Because
up
my
your
wife
nose?
tested negative for the rapid test, but positive for the one they sent.
Well, because she didn't have a fever. If she
Yeah.
didn't have a fever, she's not gonna have elevated white blood cells.
Yeah, so she was, so
That's
there's like
crazy.
some weird,
yeah.
and then some people get a rapid test that's also a swab. So there's different things out there.
Hmm.
And then sometimes it's a blood thing. Yeah. So, I don't know. I know that it's pretty serious though.
Yeah.
That's why I was just trying to do, like, I told
Keep
Mike,
the
I'll
kids
just-
away and
No, I mean, I told Mike, I'll stay away as long as,
yeah.
like, I'll stay away for months if you want. I don't know what to tell you because, but that's not wasn't the final decision, but I would, because we had two friends who were healthy. Well, and I'm telling you, like it's stinking knocked them down.
Mm-hmm.
But did you stay separate, you and your kids stay
There
separate?
was
from
no
your wife?
way. I don't even know how you do that unless
Yeah.
maybe it's your house, if your house is built a certain way, but we thought about that. But I don't know how to, I mean, Kathy, I don't know how you would actually be in a home with someone that's sick.
You can't. I
And
mean,
they
you're
need
gonna
some
walk
help.
They need you, yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't like exist on their
Well,
own.
yeah, you have to
You have to, like,
food and everything.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was reading the CDC stuff about quarantining within the home, and I was thinking,
who
it
really would
almost
do
sounds
this?
like, like a lawyer wrote it. At that point, like, hey, say this, but don't say this, and we all know that. I mean, what are you gonna do? That part was weird. So
Yeah.
the answer to that question is no. We were gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like you're just like waking up every day.
Am I okay?
You're waking up every day.
How do I feel? How do I feel?
Taking your
Think I'm all right?
temperature.
Yeah. We've got a friend that's really sick, so it's pretty tough.
We know, and like Hector, he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and his mom, and
His mom too.
Crazy.
Well, and he had already had
Yeah.
some aunts and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you're safe.
I mean, that's pretty scary.
All right, we have Ryan Sergio should be logging in for a phone. Yeah, 2 accounts.
10 o'clock.
Yes, 10 o'clock, he's the only one on the 10. And it's case 12 and case 455. I don't know if you wanna,
Okay, do you want, he's there, just let me know when you want me to let him
He
in.
has two accounts?
Yeah.
Oh, 12.
yeah, he's the only 10 o'clock.
12.
Let's do 12 first.
Okay.
You can start, I'm just going.
And whenever you wanna let him in, just let Jackie know. Sergio.
Sergio,
Oh, I haven't let him in yet. Hold on.
oh,
So I guess Ramon is the one with the ACDC. right?
You should be
I was
good.
gonna say. who's Janet?
Sergio,
Yes, hello, good morning.
this is Charlie Powers at the Appraisal Review Board. It's okay with you, we'll start with the account 12224. Case ID 2020-12.
It's 904 Highway 35.
Sergio, do you not have this property account?
Can you repeat that number again, please?
12224.
No, I do not. That is not mine.
Yeah, it's assigned to Jessica Arroyos, but right now is the hearing. Should we just proceed with the affidavit on her behalf?
Sure, that is fine.
It's one of the
Yeah, I suppose so.
tax agency, but different department. And this isn't a person. So the person who submitted this affidavit is essentially not here. The woman's name is Jessica Arroyos. She works for Ryan.
It's
She
another
represents this
agent,
property.
same company.
And this is the time for her hearing, but she isn't
But
here.
he can't do it.
No, but we can do
He's just gonna have to sit
455.
out.
We can do
You
455.
wanna do that one? That's his, right?
Let's do
And then we
455.
can do Jessica's by affidavit after.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's do 455.
Okay.
1401 Jim Smokehouse Road, that's yours, right? Sergio?
Excuse me?
Account 60480, that's yours, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Opening a hearing on case ID 2020-455, account 60480. This hearing is being recorded. The Appraisal Review Board will be hearing your protest today. Robert Dayton, Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, Charles Powers, and Ramona LeBlanc is in via Zoom. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The Comptroller's Office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today. That may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/surveyarb. Survey is voluntary, but we do appreciate you taking it. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. We have all your evidence, correct?
Correct.
The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code 41.66.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F, and am signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Ficarazzi, am notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in Texas.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath. Sergio, I'm assuming that since you signed the affidavit, you're under oath for the duration of this hearing. You understand?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
I, Eamon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony which will present to the appraisal of the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Sergio, do you hold an appraiser's license in the state of Texas?
No, I do not.
You have in front of you or available to you the hearing procedure times. It's a one-page chart. This is page
I
5.
do not.
Okay, well, we'll walk you through it. It's a matter of a few steps. Would you like to go first, or would you like Eamon to go first?
I'll go ahead and let Eamon go first.
Okay.
This account is 60480. It is Circle W RV Park. And I don't know if I have to, if this is relevant or not, but this is under, still being litigated from last year. This account is one of the bigger ones that we have as far as like property cards and line items. So it ends up being quite a few pages just to describe the property. And the sales grid actually shows.
Tell us before we get to that, where is that exactly?
It's the end of Jim's Smokehouse Road. If you go towards the
Go
range,
past Cove Harbor.
So we go business 30?
all 35 is over here.
Old 35.
This is Shady Oaks, that circle.
What's that road that goes into it?
This is called Smokehouse
Smokehouse
or
Road.
Jim's Smokehouse Road.
Where's Cove Harbor? So
Yeah.
Wait, oh, okay.
So this is past it, and you'll have to go down the road a bit. But there's two of them actually. Shady Oaks is pretty big. But if you look on your tablet, the sales comp grids display pretty well on this vertically actually, because it takes up 2 pages. It's kind of hard to look at on paper. The value last year was $4,395,930, and the value this year is $4,381,480. So there's some depreciation to things on this account, but overall, nothing was really changed for 2020. The comps that we used include the first comp, which is the sale of the subject. The subject was purchased in 2016 for $6,075,000.
Wow.
The second comp is Shady Oaks.
2016.
2016.
And then comp number 2 is Shady Oaks. Shady Oaks is the park that's right next to it. It's got less spaces, and it's not as nice of a park, but it's right next to it. It was purchased in wait, what is this? This isn't right. This is displaying one of the little sub accounts. That's not good. That's annoying. Can we get the actual Shady Oak sale price? These things are made up of more than one parcel, and this thing's just displaying.
59987. Hold on 1 second.
Is that 59978 correct?
It's part of the sale, but that's not the sale I'm looking for. Like, it's showing you one of the little things that's in it. Yeah, exactly. The main thing is to find the big number.
1251.
It might be 1301.
Okay, because it didn't.
So Sergio also.
Anyways, that Shady Oaks has, just for time's sake, I'll keep going. Shady Oaks has how many? Did you find it, Jack?
No, sorry.
see any.
Is it the
Yeah,
CP
This is
three?
really normal.
Is it a CP three at 288? Well, it's
Yeah,
CT.
it's not displaying any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
For some
there's a
reason-
million accounts and it's, I can't,
Yeah, there's so many accounts on this.
okay, it's 1301.
Yep, and it's gonna be,
See, here's Lone Star. You start here.
no, it's not, it's the one on, keep going down. That's okay. Because it's the same street address as the other one, but it's
This one has
So it's not
283.
this 1301 Jim Smokehouse Road. Keep
The
going down.
one that Jim's,
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
the one
with
who's-
two big parks that are on the same 1301 Shady Oaks.
I see CTP, it's like the fifth thing
This?
down
Richard
under
Garner.
segments.
That might be it. Make sure
And
that
it
sounds
shows
right.
they have
5997.
283.
There
Hey,
you go. Go to
Sergio,
deeds and
There it
sales,
is.
and then go to
Sergio.
improvements
Yes. Hello?
I'm gonna, our time is,
for the commercial.
I'm gonna adjust it because
Just
it's,
scroll
we're
down.
kind of technical difficulties, okay?
Oh, man.
Okay, that is fine with me.
Thank you.
There you go. 200.
200.
Whew. Thank
Yeah.
you for your patience. Shady Oaks has 200 spaces. Subject circle W.
283.
283. Shady Oaks sold for $2,180,000.
This year?
And that was like last year, I think.
2,120
125.8.
in
The
18.
next comp is 1202 Mesquite Street in Fulton. It's another RV park. That's
Oh, after storage.
yes, yeah. It's I forget the name of it, but it's another larger RV park. It sold for $4,750,000, and then there was the sale of the one near here, but it's on the water for $3,150,000. The one on the water has a $1.7 million land element. So there's it's basically a $2 million park on $1 million worth of land. The indicated value for the subject based on those sales, if you look at them being adjusted, the first one doesn't get adjusted at all because it is the subject. It sold for $6 million. Second one is $4,482,000. The third adjusts out to $4,053,000, and the fourth is $4,279,063, giving you median equity value or median market value of $4,380,000. And we noticed them at $4,380,000. This isn't a coincidence. The reason that our values are what they are is because of sales. These sales were, sale of subject was one of the ones that we used in our data set to make sure that it was for large parks. We're way below what their actual purchase price was. It's because of other things in the park. They have a bunch of apartments and cottages and things that we're not fully capitalizing correctly. But as far as equity, they're being treated exactly like every other park. They're being valued at $10,000 a space, and then everything beyond the spaces is valued at cost. Their land value is added to that. Their median equity value is $4,422,000, which is $40,000 over our notice value. Then the following thing is the sales ratio report. You know what? I didn't think about this. That Shady Oak sale was in the sales ratio report. Could have just looked down there. The parks were at 1.01 weighted mean and a 96% average for RV parks in this county in the last 2 years.
2 years.
Yes. Just using recent sales.
Okay, so the equity is 4 million. Guess that's hard. Oh, no, that didn't even, so what is the equity? What,
4,422,470.
no. Because that's, you said.
No. That's the equity value.
That is the
Median equity value.
actual, okay, all right.
No, the comp number 2 is just displaying weird.
Okay, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just displayed weird.
All right, you have 25 seconds.
That should explain it, hopefully.
All right, so Sergio, you've got 2 minutes to cross-examine and 5 minutes to present, so I'm giving you 7 minutes, okay?
Okay. Okay, so for my analysis, we went ahead and did an income workup, but I just wanted to quickly point out that at the time of the sale in 2016, the property was generating $1.325 million in revenue. This year, however, in 2019, the property generated $970,000 in gross revenue, which is what we have in our income analysis. If you go down our income analysis, our total operating expenses come out to $727,367, and our net operating income is at $242,992. And we are using a base cap rate of a 10%, considering this property is at 58% occupancy. And when you add in the effective tax rate to our base tax rate, I'm giving a total capitalization rate of 11.95%, giving us an indicated value of $2,032,813, and that is what we are seeking. And that is all for my analysis.
Sergio, can I ask you one thing?
Sure.
So your vacancy, is that including like the apartments and all of that, or is that just the RV spots?
That will be the total. That will be the total of the property.
Okay. Which it's all under one account?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Circle W is all one account. That's why it's so big.
But you don't do the parks under.
Is that all you have, Sergio?
Yes, just that income analysis. Correct.
Okay, you've got 2 minutes.
I'll just answer. We don't do the parks on income. It ends up being less reliable than the way we're doing it, at least for the last year it has been. But I will point out that if we were doing it on income, the only disagreement that we would have with this workup is the cap rate and using the cap rate that we would be using, and then using the stabilized occupancy net operating income, it actually comes out to $4,393,000, which is about what we have on it. We've kind of ended up back where we started. I understand that it's probably $6 million is a lot. Either paid too much or there's something going on that we don't know about. But that's way high. We're way under the actual purchase price, but we're just trying to give it a market value. And I think our 4.3 is well supported, but it's a big park.
That can't take into effect the occupancy.
The occupancy is actually not abnormal. I mean, it's not a people coming in and out all the time.
So that's not unusual, right?
No, it's not really that unusual. You can run your park however you want to run it. You can have less occupants and better ones when you have them. It's kind of all over the place. Nothing happened to this park this year. This was just part of the change that was made in 2018 for the 2019 year. And,
As far as the CTPs?
yeah, and there's been no change to this account from last year for the land improvements.
You say it's still being contested from last year?
It is, it's being litigated.
It's being litigated.
Okay,
And
so now,
yeah.
go on, I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
So Sergio, you've got, actually, Damon, you get another 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was just answering her question whenever you.
But you still have 2 minutes. Do you want,
I
is
don't
there
really have
anything
any, I
else?
don't really know if there's anything else for me to say.
Okay, and this is just because just the different formulas and all. So when you reworked it, it came very close.
Yeah.
And were you using like their because aren't you typically in just a standard model? It's 50%, but you took it down to their actual number?
Yeah, so their net operating income stabilized at 75%. It says pro forma 2020.
Right.
So it's 393,187. And then the cap rate that we would see in the actual marketplace would be more like 7. So if you divide that by 0.0895, it says the tax rate right there, you get 4,393,000. So
It's actually higher.
well, it's about the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Well, it's not
interesting that in this case, it actually kind of proved out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a coincidence. The way that we abstracted CTP values was kind of a workaround to, like, that value is being driven in part by income. But we had the answer before we had the question.
Right.
We had the sale prices.
Right.
So we can abstract that out. The reason we've continued to do it is this year when we looked at using both market income data and actual income data. Some people did show us their actuals. The CTP value was more reliable for the low value parks and the high value parks. If you do it on the income basis, these high value parks end up being really, really high. They end up being valued super high. And I think that's part of what led to it being purchased for $6 million when it probably could have been less.
Got it. All right. Now, Sergio, so now you get 2 minutes of protester rebuttal.
Okay. Well, like Amen said, I'm not sure if this is relevant, but this property is being under litigated because of last year. Last year was pretty much the same story. And like Amen said, this property was purchased more than what it was worth. And the fact that the year it was purchased, it was generating more income would probably be the reason why it was purchased for so much. However, this year, the revenue was $970,000. So I'm not sure if the $6 million would be as relevant today given the income that we're generating. And that is all I have.
Okay. All right. So now, Amen, you've got 1 minute for closing.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that they definitely overpaid, but we're not at their sale price. We're millions of dollars off of that. So, again, nothing happened to this property this year, so it's the same as it was last year.
I actually had a reduction of 14,000.
Yeah, the other buildings, like the apartment buildings and things, will depreciate.
All right, Sergio, you got 1 minute to close.
That is everything that I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now we've got 5 minutes to deliberate.
The 4393 income approach that using the 7% or 8.95 shows a consistent number to the cost basis. I would suggest we go to 438.04, 540, which puts us within the median of the marketing.
438.
540. That's to put it consistent.
What do
with the
you
median.
think, Ramona? What are your comments?
That, if, like Charlie says, it makes it consistent. And truly using even Sergio's, the cost, or I don't know, I'm losing my, even if we do it the cost approach, it's still going to come out to around 4,300,000.
Yeah.
So.
Using the formulas we have. All right, so on account number 60480, based and looking at the incorrect appraised market value and the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal, I make a motion that we lower the 2020 value to $4,380,540.
All in favor? Aye. Ramona?
I said aye.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There you go. Thank you, Sergio.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sergio.
So he's just doing one. Hi, Sergio.
All right, y'all. You all have a blessed day.
Thank
You
you.
You too, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh. Now, are we doing 12 as an affidavit?
We are.
Is it a property he does?
No, he doesn't do it.
Okay,
It's the same company, but it's a different person.
got it.
But she's not here to do it,
Okay.
apparently.
Opening a hearing on case ID number 2020-12, account 12224. This hearing is being recorded. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing the protest today. At the table are Robert Dayton, Cindy Duck, Kathy Hoffman, Charlotte Powers, and Ramona LeBlanc Vice Zoom. Damon Burke is the appraisal district representative. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. According to Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest, signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with a person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Robert Date, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Ramona LeBlanc, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F, and I'm signing to that effect, and I'm physically located in Texas.
I, Elizabeth Picarazzi, notarizing Ramona's signature. I also am located in Texas.
All witnesses must be given under oath.
I, Damon Burke, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. Property owners, agents, affidavit into the record.
Before you begin, there is on the protest form letter, there is, other is checked And the notation is 41.41A9 and 2301E.
Let's see what it is.
141A9.
Well, now on here, on this thing, isn't that weird, Charlie? On here it says 25, 20.
25.
We're doing number 12, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sheet of paper,
It
page.
doesn't say 25D on here.
No, but on this piece of paper,
It does.
4141A9 is that a property owner is entitled to protest before the appraisal review board for the following actions. Any other action of the chief appraiser appraisal district or ARB that applies to and adversely affects the property.
Right.
And then the other one was
that was just
2301E.
23.
They did what we're.
no, but 25 isn't on all of these. It's,
No, I know. It's on this
so there's, I'm just,
one. Where I don't know where it
It's
came
not-
from. It's
I don't
not
see it on the
the
protest form.
2301E says that's the section explaining that the district can't change the value of a property that was set by the ARB without good cause.
Okay.
From the prior year.
oh, okay, so that may be why the 25 notation. Maybe last year we did a 25,
The
and then it
Reason-
went up this year.
it's on there is because the agent just selects everything. They don't want to have not protested the right thing, so they protest everything on everything.
Okay.
It just doesn't.
All right, so these are the ones that the motion will have to cover when we get there, okay?
Okay.
All right.
This is account Q224, 7-Eleven Incorporated owns this building. PO Box 7-Eleven, Dallas, Texas, 75221 0711. Crazy. They got all the 7-Elevens.
Oh my God, their zip code is 7-Eleven. I love
The
it.
zip code, the end of their. Property descriptions 904 Highway 35 South, Rockport, Texas 78382. Reasons for protest selected or incorrect appraised market value and value is unequal compared with other properties. The evidence says indicates there's nothing attached to the affidavit. Statement of facts or argument says this is an owned 7-Eleven location that has been vacant since 8/24/2017.
27.
And hearing type selected, they do not intend to appear at the hearing either in person or by telephone conference call. This affidavit and the evidence and or argument submitted with it may be used at the hearing if I do not appear in person at the hearing. Be signed by Jessica Arroyos in Dallas County on July 13th of this year. And that concludes their evidence.
Where is this located?
Yeah, it's
To
on,
the Family Dollar.
Huh?
it's on Old 35.
Just
by the dollar store.
Right here.
Dollar store.
Got
It used to be there and now it's nothing. Just a building, yeah.
Got it.
It's not a working
Building,
gas
right,
station.
yeah.
And so it was, not last year it was valued at 58,130, which is the land value. This year it was noticed at 81,540. Note says we removed a distribute value that put it at the land value.
So it did.
This was a bit of a story. This is kind of weird. So the hurricane happens, this is a working gas station, they evacuate and it gets really damaged. The last year, they came in and said, well, we've got this destroyed building, it's worthless. We have to demolish it. And I said, fair enough, if you're gonna demolish it, it's not worth anything, let's put it at 0. That's just the value of the land. Well, a year has gone by and it hasn't been demolished. Then another year goes by and it still hasn't been demolished. So we're saying, why are they not demolishing this thing if they said that they were going to? So well, all we did was we said, okay, we can't leave it at 0 if it's sitting there and it could have been demolished. There's something they're keeping, right? There's some inherent value to this building. The problem is, one would say, well, who knows how much a damaged gas station is worth? how could you possibly comp that? Like, where are you gonna find damaged gas stations? Weirdly enough, we have 2 that sold this year. They were damaged.
They were damaged?
Yeah, one of them was the Stripes in Fulton that was damaged by the hurricane and was then sold off by somebody who bought it and has to redo everything on the property to turn it into a gas station. And it appears that's what they're doing. The one across the street is a gas station that has been damaged for years, doesn't have any pumps anymore, and was purchased and then not turned into a gas station. It was turned into a liquor store. So
Oh, yeah, it's got the tobacco and liquor there.
yeah,
Which
it's
one is
called
that?
Liquor and Smoke now. It's on
Yeah.
Chaparral and 35.
Yeah, by the gun range thing.
It's the
Oh, the gun range is across the highway.
so the question of what do you do with this building if you don't turn it into a gas station is apparently you could do other stuff with it. You turn it into a liquor store. People are buying these things, and the reason it hasn't been demolished is because there is some value to this building. So when we do the comparison to the 2 that actually sold, assuming, hey, these things are sold in a horrible damaged state, it indicates the value of the subject, not at 81,000, but at 125.
Have they communicated with you?
They have, and they had no good rebuttal to that. They were assuming that we would not have anything. It was a pure hypothetical, how much this thing's worth. And I was explaining, well, we have 2 that sold. Damn it.
But
One of
they
which
didn't
was
offer a
hurricane
reason
damage.
why they hadn't torn it down? Because there could be
They haven't
reasons.
torn it down because it has value.
Well,
I mean-
somebody's bought the other 2, so somebody's
It's
likely to
just
buy
the
this one.
value is just the building. It's not worth what it was as a gas station. You know, when it was a gas station, it was worth way more.
And they haven't offered any reason why they haven't torn it down.
No. And they also have not told me if they're going to put a 7-Eleven back in here or if they're gonna sell it off. And it was intimated to me that they're going to sell it. So, and when it gets sold, we expect that it will sell for about 125 if it sells like the others. The other one sold, the one that was the Stripes, back in the day it was a Circle K, was sold for 185 as is. And that was in June of last year. And then the one that turned into Liquor and Smoke that hasn't been a gas station for years, it's been distressed and on the market for a long time for about 350,000, I think. Guy actually bought it for 240.
Why is this one only at 81?
Because it's worse. It's smaller and it's got less land and it's just a smaller building. That's all it is. The the Liquor and Smoke building is a nicer building, like in better shape.
Got more area.
That's why it sold for 240. But we were saying it's just the land. Well, clearly it's not just the land. There is some resident value to these buildings, and it should. What this is telling you is if these people are happy with their purchases, then you should be happy buying this one at 125. Then you can do whatever you want with it. You can turn it into a liquor store or an office or a gas station, whatever you want to do. And the equity grid is the same ones. It's the same comps. It's the 2 that were damaged. And I think on January 1st, if I remember right, the Liquor and Smoke place wasn't open yet either. But the median value of the 2 of those is 141. So we're way below the way we were valuing the other 2 as well. Again, because we were under the impression that this was going to be demolished, but it isn't going to be demolished. So that's what's happening. So we're at 81, and what I'm saying is, when we put the value of the building back on, if we had knowledge of the future sales, we could have put it at 120, and that would have been more accurate. And when this thing sells, it'll probably sell for about 120, or someone's probably going to overpay for it. Someone's going to pay 110 for it for some reason, but we're at 80. So
All right, so I make a motion based upon what we've heard on account number 1, 2, 2, 2, 4. based upon, considering incorrect appraised market value and any other item which might affect the total property value, that we leave the 2020 value at $81,540.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
That
Thank you.
concludes our morning.
Interesting that.
That concludes our morning.
Ta-da.
Recess. We're recessed to 1:30.
All righty.
All right, Ramona, we'll see you at 1:30. And did you hear that tomorrow we don't have to start till 10?
Yes, ma'am, I heard that.
Okay, cool.
We're probably the only people on YouTube that got worse ratings than Biden.
Yeah.